Hello guys, and welcome to another video. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make a corduroy overall dress. So let's get started. Alright. So the materials for this tutorial are completely what you'd like, but since this is a corduroy, well, you need 2 jars or 2 meters of corduroy fabric, your basic zigzag or straight scissors, the pattern making ruler, some thread, the buttons from 6 to 8 pieces, and paper and pencil, of course. So the measurements you're gonna need, I'm going to show you how to take them. So the first one is the back width, just a half of it, the back length, which is the entire number and divided by 2, or half of it, and remember your waistline. Alright, also you're gonna need the neck circumference, but this one you're gonna measure it from your collarbone. Alright, remember to divide those by the numbers I'm showing you in the video. Also your chest measurement, remember to inhale so you can see how much it is, and also your hips measurement, I recommend to you to add up about 1 inch of it. Also the skirt length, you need the entire number of it. Alright, so let's get started. So for the pattern making the front bodice, we're gonna make a rectangle of the back width and the back length. As you can see, well, I took the half of my back length and half of my back width. I'm going to make the rectangle out of it. And let me tell you that I did cheat on this video because I had ready my pattern, so I just trace it, guys. So I'm sorry for the noises in the background. Alright, so now we need to see which measurement is the widest one, and for me the widest part of my body are my hips. So take that measurement and make another rectangle out of it from taking the other half of the back length and your the back length, and alright, so the hips or your chest with measurements. So just like I told you, just take the one that is widest and just trace up that one, and you're gonna have your waistline, and from the waistline make another rectangle that's going to be your skirt length, and well, so that's it basically. I recommend to you to add up about 2 inches maybe, because mine was a little bit too short for me, but if you don't mind it, well, just let it go, you know. So now I'm going up to my front bodice pattern, and I'm going to take the other measurements, the neck measurements, the 6th part of it. I'm going to make a little mark horizontally, and I think I'm just writing down, so just do it that way. And also take the 1/12 part of the neck circumference, and that's going to be all shoulder part of it. So you make a straight line from those 2 points and you're ready to go. Now making a little close up to it, and I think now you can see what I meant, and also you can see my pattern as well. So we're going to take the half part of this line and going to one side and the other, we're gonna add 1 inch and 1 inch to each side, or well, 2 inches from there, right? This is optional, of course. If you like to make it wider, then sure, go ahead and do it. Alright, so now from this part of the pattern, the side of it, from the armhole to the waist, I'm taking the half of this line, and what I'm going to do is to just make a curved line for the armhole. But you know, since I had it ready there, I'm going to draw it that way, yeah. And I think for the neckline, I'm going from the armhole line, as you can see there, and I'm going to use my French ruler and make another curved line here. This is completely optional, but you can do it however you like. If you don't like the curved line, then you can make it straight, or just use your imagination, alright? So now for this part, I'm going to add up the placket. So for the placket, I decided to make it 1.5 inches, as you can see, and I'm going to make a straight line from all that, from let's say the hem to the neckline. You can make it of 1 inch, or I don't know, maybe 2 inches. I decided 1.5 inches because I wanted to have a little bit more of space. So now what I'm going to do is to add up the seam allowance. I added up 1/2 inch. Except for the placket, of course. So yeah. So let's get back now to the back bodice. So what I'm going to do is to make absolutely the same except for the placket and for the neckline, because of course I want my neckline to be a little bit more how to say it, like upper. So yeah, I'm tracing down everything, as you can see. But since it has the seam allowance, and I'm just tracing up, adding up the seam allowance, so I don't have that much stuff to do. So for the back neckline, you can do it however you like, but what I did was to take the middle point from the armhole line and that upper side, that upper line that I made to start with my pattern. So yeah, I made it that way. But just like I told you, you can do it however you like. I mean, you can make it completely straight, or you can make it like a rectangular shape, or I don't know, like a heart shape. Just get creative doing this one, but take in mind which material you are working with and that stuff. So I'm finishing it with another straight line, and I'm going to add up the 1/2 inch of the seam allowance. And also remember your thread line, because well, if you don't respect that line, the clothing you make is going to look a little bit odd and it won't look nice. Alright, so now for the lining part, this is going to be very easy. Just copy the front line, the front pattern of it, and well, What I'm going to do is to take from the side you're seeing right there, half side of it, and then, well, there you can see that instead of adding 1.5 inches, I decided to add up 2 inches just to give me a little bit more of space. And that line, well, it's just completely, how to say it, like decorative one. You can make it however you like, it doesn't matter. And just like I told you, respect the thread line. And for the back side, it's not big deal, just do it the same size. I mean the side of the pattern, as you can see, just make it the same size of the front one. And I think, I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit confusing, yeah, I'm sorry. So now for the pocket, you can do it just however you want it to be. I recommend you to take the measurement of your, how is it called, your cell phone, and just add up some similar ones, trace it, draw it, however. And what I did with the upper part of it, I added up like a 1.5 inches. So now that we have our patterns ready, we have our lining ready, everything's ready. So I think it's about time to make the, how is it called? Oh yeah, to cut the fabric. So now that it's completely flat, just like I'm showing you, I recommend you using the zigzag scissors if you don't have a serger machine. Remember to respect the thread line, please, because of what I told you. Also, you don't need to make the lining out of the same fabric. You can play with textures and with the printed fabrics and so on. Just make sure both are the same composition. I mean, if they're cotton, they have to be cotton, and if they're polyester, so on. Alright? So now for the preparation, what we're gonna do is to use the serger machine and serge that parts I'm just pointing out in the video. That way. If you don't have a serger, I recommend to you to using the zigzag stitch or the fake overlock machine stitch. So now also I recommend to you using like make a test to see if it's okay and everything, I mean the stitches, because sometimes it's just completely annoying to be changing it and that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is, just like I told you, I'm going to show you how to make that part because it seems like a little bit challenging. So you just simply like move it that way, like that, and just go and do everything else. All right. And there you have it. It's completely, it looks cool actually. So also for, I think that's the pocket. Make it of the 3 sides of the pocket, and also on the hemline of the skirt, I mean the dress. Do it from that side because we're gonna do a simple hem, just folding hem, not big deal, very simple. And here I have a little bit of trouble because corduroy is a little bit hard to work with because it's a little bit I don't know how to say it, I just forgot, but well, I think you know what I meant. So also be careful with your iron, because it may cause a little bit of trouble with your fabric and stuff. Now make a simple top stitch to the pockets, just like I'm showing you. Well, it's not a big deal. And then it's time to see how to place it. I made it to the waistline. From the middle point of it, just like I'm showing you, I placed down some pins and place it down. But if you don't have like if you don't like it to be on the waistline, then just you can do it wherever you want. So there I have it now placed with pins, and now it's time to just make a top stitch. You can also be playing with the shapes of your pockets and just like do it however you want and stuff like that. So now we're ready for the making of. Now what we're going to do is to place the right size of both shoulders, yeah, and we're gonna to sew it respecting the seam allowance we added to it. So just like I told you, I did it of 1/2 inch. Also now we have to press it down with the seams open, and then we're ready to do it with the lining. I mean, I did it the same completely with lining part, as you can see, and I'm going to pin it and to place it like both right sides together, facing together I mean, and just completely pin it. And next what I'm going to do is to sew it, but also sew it from the placket side of it. So my placket is of 1 inch, and that's why I added up like 1.5 inches, because I'm making it my seam allowance of 1/2 inch. But you can add like 2 inches to make it 1.5 inches, or however you like. All right. So I'm also doing it like sewing the right sides together from the downside of the placket, just to make a very simple hem, just like I told you before. But you can make it just like I told you, however you like. You can make another better hem. Now we're going to make a little cuts from the curved sides of it, because if you do it from, well, if you turn it from the other side, and it will look completely ugly, all right? And then just like I'm showing you, always press down your fabric so it won't look like a little bit weird and stuff. I also recommend to you using some fabric like muslin. Now what I'm going to do is to like face both lining and the self fabric, and yeah, like sew it down. And what I also shown you is to make the hem. So just like I told you, it's going to be a little bit very simple hem, but just like I also told you, you can do it however you like, alright? If you have a better one, sure, do it. Or if you want to make it full line, sure, do it. And we are almost done. So the last thing we need to do is to place down, well, mark where the buttonholes are going to be, and also the right buttons for it. I wanted to make it like a little bit contrast, to make a little contrast, yeah. So I'm going from the placket like this, 1/2 inch, and I'm going to draw it or mark it, trace it, whatever. You can divide it by whatever number you want, but what I did was 4 inches was ideal for me. As you can see, 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches, alright? So now it's time to, first you can make a test of the placket and then you go with the real dress, alright? Because if you do it the other way, you may have some troubles. And finally, open up your buttonholes. And then sew down, how do you call it? The buttons. And there you go, you have it completely ready to go. This corduroy dress, super simple and cute. I haven't seen something like this before, but anyways, what I meant is a DIY video. So I hope you like it, you guys, and I'm so sorry I've been away from this platform. I've been very busy with school and that stuff, but I'll try. And also I've been having a little bit of trouble making this video because of my computer, but anyways, I hope you like it and see you very soon. Alright, goodbye guys.